was these two guys, right?
Yeah. Were they cute?
Okay. I don't know. Okay, they were both cute.
They had big penises.
Okay, that's part of the joke. Let me tell you, all right?
Norman didn't really come out and say, you know, I'm bisexual. How do you feel about that? You know, gather around. We're going to discuss my sexuality. You know, it wasn't anything like that. It was just kind of, it just sort of surfaced, and no one's had any reaction to it at all. It's just great getting to be around him because Norman expresses it so normally. Okay, tell us a joke.
It's a long joke. It's a story joke. I need two volunteers, Becky and Julie.
Okay.
There's so many people out there that are like worth it, and I'm always like, I'm like, well, I could date that person, and oh, I could date this person. I'm always like trying to open my mind more and more. I'm like,
go on, go on.
I'm a Pisces. I'm always out there looking for like another fish kind of thing.
That is the best joke I've ever heard.
I'm gonna beat you.
And now, did you have to leave a girlfriend to come here this time?
No, I've been dating.
She's very inquisitive, and she knew how to ask every right question.
What did you do down there? What did you do in Florida before you came here?
I used to go around the schools and speak about HIV and AIDS.
AIDS education, I said AIDS.
No, AIDS.
So I told her that I did AIDS education, then changed the conversation, and it didn't come up again until we went to the observation deck.
So now how did you get so involved in your work?
I thought for a second of how can I go around, and I said, no, forget it.
I'm HIV positive.
When Pedro told me he was HIV positive, it was just like, no, not him. I like this guy, and I don't want him to have to suffer.
When I found out I was HIV positive, about 8 months later, I started doing AIDS education.
Every time I tell somebody I am HIV positive, it gets as hard. It's as hard as the first time I did it. So I'm still concerned about, meet 5 people, and I don't know how they're going to feel about me being HIV positive.
I don't like gay people.
You don't like gay people?
No, I just have a feeling that I hate them.
You hate them? That's a strong word.
My mother tells me not to hang around with gay people, I guess.
Do they do something bad that no one else does?
No.
But you know what, though? I know people that you know that are gay, that you know really well, that you like, too. What if I told you I was gay?
Just start crying in tears. No.
Would you like me? Would you stop liking me?
No, I would still like you.
So, explain to me, why it matters. If I like girls, and I'm not trying to kiss you, and I just want to be your friend in color, why does it matter that I like girls?
Like Vanessa, she's gay, and I know that because she once told me that she was gay because she liked other girls. She asked me if I would still be her friend even though she's gay, and I said yes.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
As we continue to mourn Matthew's death, the nation still reveals its mixed feelings about homosexuality. Last year, MTV went to 3 cities across the country to find out what young Americans were thinking in the aftermath of Matthew's murder.
Now I look to Wyoming for a young, vibrant, talented, bright young man who had a future before him, and now he's dead.
I think it was a little bit above just going after Matthew Shepard. It was going after a whole community.
So what's up with Paul?
Paul? Pretty
totally
cute,
understand. Yeah, he's really cute. He's got a good smile. That's good thing.
Every time I walk into my room and I see his pictures, it's hard. The minute I met him, we were together for 3 days straight. I mean, it's crazy because we just met each other and we didn't talk about this stuff.
How long ago?
I met him 3 weeks ago.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, just met him, but I'm serious. From the second I met him, it was electric. Insane.
That's the best thing in the whole
Yeah,
world.
it's I don't want to go.
And even if it doesn't last for a long time, it's
even that moment.
It doesn't matter, because you're living large for just that period or moment in time, and that's what counts.
This kid's got a heart of gold.
Right on.
I mean,
cool.
He is just as whipped as I am. Hello.
Hey.
Hey, what's up, kid?
How you doing?
I knew it was gonna be you. I just got through talking about you.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, might have a surprise for you.
Yeah? What's the surprise? Tell me.
I've decided to come to New Orleans.
You're gonna come down here?
Yeah.
You can't, I want you to come bad, but you can't come.
You can be gay and in the military, but you can't be out. It cannot be spoken that you are gay.
Today, I want to see you so bad. But at the same time, I'm not gonna compromise you, your job, your life.
If it does come out that you're gay, you're immediately discharged. His best friends are in the military and they don't know. And his family doesn't know.
Can I just like kiss you for an hour and then you go about your way?
He's putting his entire life on the line and means so much to me.
I really hate the Confederate flag. This is an anti-Confederate bumper sticker. It says, "You lost, get over it." And see, someone tried to rip it off. People started like egging my car and keying it, and they took my gas cap. Just a lot of stuff went on. It just bothers me that people can be ignorant enough to wave around something that represents so many bad things. Being gay in this town means that you're a sinner. I should tell you.
Tell me.
And it's not easy.
I figured you was something to tell me, How, what is it? What is it?
Like, I feel like laughing hysterically because
You're like me. When it comes down to trouble, you kind of laugh. Laugh it off.
I don't know why the heck I was laughing. I was just incredibly scared, and it was my own comic relief.
What is it, Mija? Is it about your life?
Yeah.
Your personal stuff? Preferences?
Yeah, it is.
As far as...
It's not happening. This is not happening.
As far as other people?
Uh-huh.
Oh, Mija, like I didn't...
Yeah. That's what I was scared. How? I couldn't say I was gay because I don't know if I'm comfortable. As comfortable as I thought I was with that at this point. Especially to my family or my parents.
Karamo starts asking me about me and Sean's relationship. You know, I want to know how it is to be different, you know, being in an interracial relationship. I know how it feels. I say, "Oh, so you date interracially?" He says, "No." So what is it?
But I'm gay.
Okay. No way.
So it's crazy. Dead ass. So it's always like the biggest thing. Always.
No way.
Serious.
I would have never guessed.
Being gay in the African American community is such a taboo. We've spent so many years in this country trying to prove that we were equal because of our race alone. And to add the fact that you're gay sort of makes you less of a man and sort of takes the culture back 2 steps. We really have to broaden our minds, like especially in our community. Like seriously, we can date outside of our race, we can date our same sexes and still be proud.
I definitely feel intimidated being out in public places where you're not sure if it's homo-friendly. So I always get this kind of nervous energy. I don't want to say goodbye to you anymore. I love you. I'll talk to you in like a couple hours, so we'll order you another ticket. Get a room, girls. Get a room. I'm gonna go say something.
No, stop. Stop, no.
Kind of intolerance that Selby and I experience is usually like a side comment. And when you get bombarded by those daily, it's so hard to maintain your cool.
I had a rough childhood. I moved out of home when I was 13 years old. I was in foster care for a little while. My father would beat on me and my brothers and on my sister and my mom. I mean, my father would beat me so bad, there was like blood gushing out of my head. I've put my father in jail on a number of occasions for assault and for, you know, domestic violence. Those situations, I feel, have made me a stronger person. My philosophy in life is that, you know, you can be in dirt, but you don't have to be dirty. You know, you choose your own path in life. You know, everyone's different. And it took me a long time to accept who I was. I was 16 years old when I came out to my parents.
Before you came out to me, I kind of like sensed that there was something that you
that she had to say. And I'm sure that she senses about me too, but I'm transgendered. So, it's been tough for me.
Are you like a post-op?
I'm post-op. I'm actually recently post-op. When I went to Thailand for my surgery. So,
wow.
It was done this year. Yeah, like 2 months ago.
Wow.
So, I was very conflicted as a child. Like, no one was there for me to talk to. There are days that I don't know, I wake up and I'm like, how the hell am I still here? Like, at times I wanted to die. And my family and I weren't really speaking, and the only thing that really saved me was community outreach. I would go and I volunteered at the Gay Lesbian Community Center, and I'd do stuff, and it was just knowing that I was making an impact with other people.
As you guys all know, I've been going through the process of going from female to male. This August, I'm planning on having chest reconstructive surgery. So it's a more male-contoured chest.
So is you scared?
I am a little nervous. It's major surgery, I have to have general anesthesia.
I'm not cool with it. Cosmetic surgery, you could die going through any surgery. And have a surgery that's not necessary like that, like, I'm not cool with that. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and act like I am. Like, I'm crying.
It's no different from if a woman has breast cancer and she decides to get a mastectomy.
It is different from that. You don't have cancer. You're not gonna die if you don't get this surgery. It's still your choice. I know you still gonna do it. I hope you're gonna be all right, but that's just where I'm at with it.
When my brother Montez told me that my surgery was elective, that's hurt my feelings the most, because for me, this is life or death. I will be thinking about the fact that my family is concerned. Their concerns aren't enough to change my mind.
Sit down for a second. I know exactly how you feel. I am 100% as frustrated as you are.
I'm
and
not.
Sam,
See, I'm gonna show it. I don't care.
I know, but Sam, tell me I wouldn't be fighting right now. You know I would. You know how I feel inside. But it is so, so, so important that you and I are the positive ones in this, okay?
You're right.
Seriously.
Which is why we should influence other people. No, I'm not gonna fight.
Don't even say anything. Just
why? Because that's backing down.
It's not backing down.
No, stop. We're here to make a stand for who we are. No, stop. This is who I am. He's the cowboy. I'm gay. I want them to be there. I want to introduce that to them. Do you know that? Like, even this is how important this weekend to me is. And for you and I to go do this, and for you and I to volunteer, and for you and I to influence Nate, who doesn't know, to come out with us, to have Alex come and volunteer with us, to have Priscilla, that's 7 people that you and I have done something with already. And it's them that have a cement block around their heads. That's how I feel.
I know.
That's why I'm so mad. But that's why we get bashed so hard, is because we back down. And I'm not gonna back down. I backed down too many times. I'm here for a reason. I'm gonna show that reason. I'm gay, and I love it. I'm proud to be gay, and I will stand for every right I have.
I'm usually really good about telling people I'm trans in the beginning. Like, within the first week, most of the time they walk out. So I'm just used to it, but I was just afraid of losing her. I had this bond with her in such a short time that I've never had with anybody else, that it was just like, I need to do what I need to do to keep this for as long as I can. I don't want to it up. I don't want to lose it. So that's why I just kept going with it.
What are your feelings, I guess, about that?
I mean, I have no problem with it.
you're still a man to me, so
That's
doesn't
all that
change
matters. That's all that matters.
That doesn't change anything. I care about his personality, not the looks. Except I like redheads, so looks plus added on to that.
That's a plus.
When I first talked to Marlon, I don't see any sign of him playing for our team at all.
You're spilling everywhere.
Stop bumping into me then. Stop bumping into me then, homeboy.
But he likes to get touchy-feely, and I'm the kind of guy that just goes with the flow, and if something happens, hey, it happens.
Get it out of here!
And some stuff happened. The other night, we all jump in the pool. And Marlon jumps in the pool and starts like trying to have a good time with me. So I don't want anybody to see because I don't know if he's out, and I'm kind of respectful that way. So I kind of follow him under the bridge where no one can see us, and one thing leads to another.
It's been a crazy road, but yeah, I'm bisexual. LeBron! Me and Derek messed around in the pool. It happened. This is who I am, this is who I'm gonna be, and this is what I'm comfortable being, and if it feels right, I'm gonna do it. I'm leaving on a winning note. You guys have a good night.
I went from being an athlete to an advocate like that, traveling and speaking to schools about my story, trying to create safer spaces for other trans athletes. I've had kids come up to me and say, wow, I've never met another trans person. Like, thank you for just coming to my school and just being here and sharing your story. And they told me it made a difference, and that's all I'm trying to do.
I've heard you say a couple of times that you don't really like being in the four.
Yeah, I don't know. The four was the first boat I learned how to row in, but that year was rough. But a lot of that was because, I don't know if you heard the story, but that's when, I was first outed. And really, I had never really talked to anybody about it then. I don't know, I think that's kind of why I've been sheltered with you guys. Because in the back of my mind, I've always been like, is this gonna be the reason that they don't want to row with me?
None of us judge at all. I look at you as just someone who's a really good rower, and I look up to you for that. And aside from that, it doesn't really matter because, go to races and you kick everyone's ass. So, whether or not your, orientation or anything like that, we don't really care. It's not that we don't care about you. Obviously, we care about you, but we don't care about that at all.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
That's good to know. Now I feel like if Call does put us in a pair or a double, we won't kill each other.
Yeah.
We'll just kill it.
I'll still have to work on.
And I'll still have to say.
Today is the day of North Carolina Trans Pride in Greensboro, and I'm gonna be giving a keynote speech there, so I'm very excited. I'm gonna go put on my cute little outfit for the speech, which is very femmy. Should I wear pearls instead? And then I'm gonna go downstairs and hang out casually in my own home. These are my grandma's old earrings. Hi.
Hey.
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 Can you deal with it?
I can deal with it.
Okay.
I can
All
deal
right.
with it.
Yay!
I can deal with it.
Okay.
It looks strange, but this is his day. If this is what he needs, I'm just gonna have to push everything aside.
That was relaxed. See? I was like, I think it's just gonna be chill. And he was just like, okay, I've given up.
You look beautiful.
Today, at this event, I am here with two types of family. I'm here with y'all, my chosen family of transgender and gender nonconforming people, but I'm also here for the first time with my whole biological family. When I first started expressing my genderqueer identity, my father told me that I could never wear a dress, lipstick, or high heels in his sight. He told me that if I wanted to have a relationship with him, that I couldn't be feminine. But we kept working on it together. I refused to accept his rejection and continued to love him along the way. In fact, today, wearing my red lipstick and my necklace, Today is the first time that my father has ever come to see me speak at a transgender event. Trans is beautiful. And our beauty comes from our bodies. But more importantly, our beauty comes from our hearts. And I love you, Dad.
It was strange when I walked in. And was I comfortable about you talking about me? No, of course, I really wasn't. But I think it was good what you did. You gave them hope that things can change.
I was dragging myself out. All I can remember is just you looking at me, and I saw it in your eyes like, take me with you.
We just went through the same thing, and we feel each other's pain. You know what I feel, I know what you feel. And other people don't know. Well, we're here, we're alive.
Thank God.
So all we can do is get better and be patient and just be positive about the whole thing.
I needed to meet you. Like, when something like this happens, you get connected to people. I was telling everybody, like, I'm about to meet Angel. I don't know him, but I feel like I know him, but I don't know him. So comfortable talking to you.
Yeah.
Like, I've known you for years. Like, honestly, I'm so happy I got to meet you.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure, definitely.
Alex and Jackie were a lesbian couple. Alex is now transitioning from female to male.
One thing that could result from testosterone is infertility. And some people choose to hold off on starting testosterone until they've harvested eggs.
He's happy with the changes to his body and his life, but he fears that those same changes could drive Jackie, the love of his life, away.
How do you feel about that? Like, I might not be able to have kids.
No, I'm gonna stay on the optimistic side that we're gonna be able to do this.
Well, she said it's possible.
Yeah.
Like, I would just have to stop the treatment for a little bit.
How do you feel about stopping the treatment for a little bit?
That's
is my
fine.
question. You would?
Of course. There's a chance that, you know, one day I could have a kid. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can definitely see me and Jackie obviously tying the knot. I do want to marry her. I just want to wait. I just want to make sure.
I think we're gonna be great, to be honest with you.
This might strengthen our relationship.
It might strengthen it?
Yeah.
It can.
I think so. Because I feel like this is like a big obstacle. So it's different for me, different for you. Definitely different for you.
Yes, definitely. Never been in anything like this before.
No, you never really been with a guy.
Yeah, seriously.
I tell you are with one right here.
Volunteering with the LA LGBT Center is so important to me because they're the people that saved me. I'm feeling very sexy right now. This jumpsuit is amazing and it's really comfortable. I feel like I look especially presentable because I get judged a lot because I am homeless. When people look at me, I want them to see a happy, brave person. It's not about having a professional team of stylists to make you feel great. It's about you doing whatever you need to make you feel the most you. You being happy with you.
I had been interested in hooking up with girls, but I never went there. And I remember the time she touched my leg and I was just like, oh, there's a connection.
I guess not.
And I was afraid of doing that on television because there's a lot of things involved, right?
But wait, what changed?
What changed? I have been.
Quiet down.
It's gonna make me upset, but it's hard to explain because it involves the passing of Diem, right? So after she passed away, it hit me really hard, and I made a vow to myself that I would do the things that I'm afraid to do. That's how my life was changed by her, was because I held myself back a lot. So that was one of the things where I would have normally been like, It was something that I was reserved about.
Where are you guys now?
Actually. No, just kidding. Don't do it here.
But the whole shroud of mystery and the double profile and not telling him about your other profile.
The other profile's sort of irrelevant, the Gary one.
Right.
That's how my family and close friends used to address me. I made that profile as something I could use to hide this part of my life from my family. Basically, when I first came out, my family told me to lie. They told me to keep everything to myself, tell nobody, and basically be like their straight son. So I was terrified for our first time to meet to be where they're at. I wanted to meet you first before I start telling my family. There's this great guy that I met that I'm super into, and
is that true?
Yes.
That
You're into him?
You met a great guy and you're super into him?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure. Zach, how do you feel right now? You've been very quiet.
I'm kind of shocked that you turned out to be who you said you were going to be. We probably have a lot to catch up on.
Are you guys in love with each other?
Well, no, you can't ask that.
Well, if they are, they are.
Well, they don't know. Do you guys know?
I mean, I tell him all the time I love him.
Oh, okay. Well, then there you go. Yeah, this is serious. Oh, that's sweet.
There's nothing less to say.
Yeah, look at these two.
Is it okay if I ask you about like when you came out, like how you knew?
I think I just always thought that like my life as a skier and my life as a gay man couldn't coexist. And after a while, I just realized that like the pain of holding on to this lie and like the pain that I was having from being in the closet was actually greater than the fear of just saying it and letting go. And so I was just like, you know what, screw it, I'm gonna come out. When I actually did come out, it was like this amazing reception. Like it aired on ESPN, they like released the cover, and it just felt so good. And the following year was my best season competitively, like didn't miss a podium.
Wow.
Sponsors were all super supportive. I know.
Oh my God, I freaking love you.
I know, it was
Awesome.
great. And I had like people say nasty and I was
People,
like,
there's always gonna be those people, but I think
For
that
sure.
I have honestly
oh my God,
learned.
sorry.
I've learned throughout the years, like the people that say the meanest things, it's only reflecting of their own hatred and
And
insecurities.
insecurity, for
It's
sure.
about themselves. It's not about you as a person.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I got to meet you.
I know, I'm glad I got to meet you too. I'm having so much fun on the show. I just hope that my story can be a beacon of light for other people that are in the closet and just let people know that the best way you can live is authentically and genuinely, and everyone deserves to be free and happy.
Do you know what Pride is for, Aubrey? It's like a celebration for the LGBTQ. What's that? Community. Like gays and lesbian. It's like love is love. Yeah. So they should be able to celebrate.
So, who is all going with us?
I think Chelsea Grace is coming with us. Our whole family. You go to show your support. You know what I mean? Because not everyone agrees with that lifestyle, which is silly. Because it's ridiculous. And I just feel like it's important to raise my kids always knowing that that's acceptable and acceptable.
People say all the time, what if you have a gay son or daughter? I don't care. They're the same person to me. People are stupid.
Come on.
You look great, honey.
You look great, honey.
I feel like I'm a little much, but you know.
You can't be. This is so fun. Look at that outfit. Oh, cute. Are you loving it? Does this sound the most positive, like, environment? Can I take a photo of your outfit?
We get to Pride and there are thousands of people everywhere. Everybody got their rainbow flags. They're all colorful. You have so many different people walking together. Just everybody just feeling free and enjoying themselves. Happy Pride!
Pride is all about love, glitter, happiness, and rainbows. Four of my favorite things.
Walking through the Pride Festival, the biggest thing that stands out to me is that everyone is just so happy.
Happy Pride, y'all!
Sir, you got a microphone I can borrow? Yeah!
Happy Pride, y'all! Happy!
There
There's no guidebook to this. I mean, there are literally books on relationships for heterosexual people of like dating for dummies, blah, 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 right? But like, how about dating trans people for dummies? That doesn't exist. So this part.
Do you get nervous?
Yeah, why do you think I called you over? I've done this so many times, but like, I'm already like,
It's gonna be totally chill. Okay. Do you want me to hold your hand? You can't have me hold your hand.
It's
Good.
cool. I
wish
just
could
kinda
hold
gotta
your
like
hand.
psych myself up.
You got it.
It's a long needle.
Letting your guard down and being vulnerable. That's the only way to get to really know someone. Yes, you're done. You are inspiring as and I appreciate you.
This is kind of overwhelming. She just said all the right things, and she makes me feel good about myself. I'm almost like hoping she's my match, and I feel my cheeks getting red.
Are you nervous still? A little bit. Yeah, you're red. I know. You look cute when you're red.
Congratulations! Through all of the highs, through all of the lows, from every challenge to every date, from every tear that was shed to every fight that was had in the house, it all boiled down to this. You will leave Hawaii with your perfect match and $750,000.
I can't believe the whole time, like, you were We played with our hearts, we played with our souls, we fought, we cried, but we did it.
Let's go out tonight.
I'm so happy for you.
Let's go out.
Dreams come true. Okay, you got this. And I will be by your side every step of the way, okay?
Thank God Amber made the right decision. If she would have chose me over Remy, then we would have been so
I feel blessed to have somebody like Justin. He's an amazing person, he's strong, and really I'm blessed and excited to see where things can go with us.
Just changed. Our lives just changed.
Our lives just changed.
I'm having a hard time believing that I'm not in a dream right now. For those of you who had your doubts about how matchmaking works, I'm telling you right now that this is a success story.
I started everything when I was 18, you know? My dad died and I had to fly home and I sat there and I remember looking out and I said, life is so short. Like, what am I doing? Like, what am I doing? And like, I feel like it took him having to leave for me to realize like who I am, you know? And to go back and be like, this is me. And I'm so sorry you didn't get to meet me. But I'm here and I'm not going anywhere. People in here are not gonna get it. They're not gonna get where I'm coming from. They're not gonna get me being gorgeous or pretty and then having this crazy past and used to being a boy or a man, because that's not who I am. It's not my fault that I was born as a boy. I need to be honest. And I think it's important because I'm not only rooting for myself, I'm rooting for a whole entire community behind me.
You were born not who you were meant to be, but you always had the same heart.
Can you imagine having to grow up in a body that you feel is not yours? What an amazing, strong person to be able to do something like that.
You're the first person I've opened up to. I didn't think it was going. Yeah, it's private. And like with the guys and like dating and stuff, I don't want to tell anyone yet. I don't want. It's my story. It's my life. It's my journey.
You need to tell people.
No, but it's in me. I'm 100%, and I will tell them because I deserve love, just like every other girl out there. You know. My whole dating life, I've been honest. I've always been honest and exposed myself and my past to them before pursuing a date. But in a situation like this, it is hard because I'm not going to be thrown in this category, a label. I'm a woman, I'm a Demi. See me for me. Don't see me for where I come from.
I just want you to know my spirit will always be behind you, like, I love you.
1992, the decisions you made to share your personal lives were unprecedented and brave. But did this bravery have unintended consequences in your lives after the series aired?
I've had a lot of relationships that were very honest and open with women. I haven't thrown them out of the picture. I might develop and have more honest and open relationship with women. I might have open relationship with men. I often use the term gay, and I often use the term bisexual.
Norman didn't really come out and say, I'm bisexual. How do you feel about that? Gather around. We're going to discuss my sexuality.
Welcome to the hot potato.
It just sort of surfaced, and it's just great getting to be around him.
Woo! Oh, that was so much fun!
Norman brings out good things, real things, I would say, about people because he's real. Norman doesn't care, almost, of what someone thinks about him. So he brings that out of you. For the time that you're with Norman, you're like a kid almost. You feel free.
This is when they probably lost all their ratings. Turn that TV off.
What was it like to go back home after you had come out on the show?
Well, I was gonna go back and win over the friends that liked me in 3rd grade. That when I went to, my church things, we go to Cedar Point together. Those people left me.
These older kids come up, knock me down on the ground, stuff like this, and say, oh, you faggot, you fag, this and that. And I was thinking, what the hell is a faggot? What is this, And I felt it was bad, that gay was bad. I was in the high school where I'd get knocked down and come home and be really upset to my mother saying, listen, these kids are beating up because I'm gay. And she would go to the community, how dare you say these kinds of stuff. You go out there and you're saying this person isn't this way and you just better believe me, and you go out there on a line and all of a sudden, this person, all of a sudden, I am that way.
It's easier to be a bully in this world than it is to stand out. It's easier to watch me get on my head and drown it in the toilet, and everybody, you have all the friends in your life, and then the next year, everyone goes through puberty, and then you have no friends, and for no reason. It's just by the grace of God that I was moved out of that school, because I would have committed suicide. I said that. I tried to.
Wow.
I'm one of those people.
I can only say this now, so many years later. I truly understand now the fear that comes with vulnerability, that fear of being attacked or the fear of being judged.
The sad thing was, of all of this, the gay community decided to turn on me because they're so interested in labels that they knew better than me. As much as I tried to help the gay community, they were like, here's another coward. He can't even say he's gay.
A lot of my friends that are in the gay community believe that there is really no bisexual. They think it's a really clear-cut situation. Everyone kind of has certain meanings for their words, and I find them almost meaningless.
People take little steps so the bigger steps can happen.
I started hearing my friends who were lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, non-gender conforming talk about the violence, emotional abuse they had to deal with as kids. I wasn't as woke as I am now to understand the power of what you represented as a human being.
That was hard, and that culture was hard. But at the time, we also had another pandemic in the gay community. We were in a really bad position. People were dying of AIDS. There was no help. There wasn't a way to reach out onto the internet. A lot of my courage came from the community that I was in '92. I was part of ACT UP and Queer Nation.
The AIDS epidemic played a crucial role in the struggle for gay rights.
No housing, no votes! No housing, no votes!
People had an opinion of what gay people were like, and there was no one to look up to, and nobody was out. There weren't like Elton Johns that were out. There wasn't like Katie Langs. There was nobody. And so when I looked at this opportunity, I felt somebody needed to say something. I wanted to get to know you all, and hopefully the world to get to know me. And through that experience, I hope the world would also get to know their neighbors and put us on a path to where we're going. Here was a perfect opportunity for somebody to go out, not only in the national audience, but MTV was 144 countries.
It's Charles, right there.
Hey, kids. Hi. The real world over these years has introduced so many different people and different stories. I'm not inventing gay, obviously, we're everywhere. But through our show, it created a layer of a voice for the gay community to reach out.
Your story's powerful. It's really, really powerful.
Things are changing. We're part of that change, and I feel proud of it.
You spoke for so many people. And that's a tremendous burden. I just want to thank you for that because it gives a lot of people courage. You know what I'm saying?
My brother's coming home. This is Stonewall. When I moved from Michigan, this is one of the first places I came. I heard these things like gay bars were here, and I went to Stonewall.
Stonewall was a gay bar that was raided on June 28, 1969. Patrons and a crowd outside resisted. The events that began at the Stonewall Inn in 1969 marked a monumental change for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer Americans.
I walked by here a million times, and I never even saw the sign.
Look, yes, yes. Gotta love New York. There's a Black Trans Lives Matter gathering in front of Stonewall. New York!
You gotta hustle, you gotta be tough. If your dreams don't scare, they ain't big enough.
In New York City, whether it's 1992 or right now, we always find those moments, hearing people and what they're dealing with and what they're going through is the most important thing of all.
Everybody say yeah!
Hey, Norman!
Yes.
Look, the marchers made it down here.
Where are they? What corner?
They right there.
Let's go! Let's go! Locked and loaded, about to blow. Get ready, get set. Let's go!
Once again, we're dealing with a community that is being underlooked. And there's work to be done, and they are out front.
Black Trans Riders! Black Trans Riders! Let's go! Steal the spotlight, steal the show. Get ready, get set. Let's go!
Hey!
I forgot until I saw these clips how much we pushed the envelope with everything, like hard.
Everything. And a willingness to be vulnerable and open, and you guys just put it out there, and it was so brave. I gotta just give you guys big props, because no one knew where it was gonna go or what it was gonna become.
I was trying to trace back, where did the bisexual label come from? I don't know why, but for me, it's labels, and it's part of the LGBT gay people. It's all part of the group.
Well, I was just going to say that as a gay man.
Yeah. And I hope I helped you.
Yeah, you too. Norm, I actually think you were ahead of your time because if you talk to young people today, they're not about labels.
Right. No.
They're about being who you
Thank
are.
God.
John,
Live.
And
Cross the river.
That's right.
Cross the
That's
river.
right.
And so I think you were a leader in that.
I have to say that back in the day, we were casting in Europe, in Prague.
Oh, wow.
And I was casting for the London season, and a kid came in who was 16, just this young kid. And he walked into the casting room, and I said, "What are you doing here?" And he said, "I wanted to thank you. I'm a young gay man. And,
Wow.
And just wanted to
We were
thank
talking about
you and the team at MTV and Norm." And he referenced you, Norm. He referenced you and PEDRO, and he said, "You've given me the courage to lead the life I want to live."
The real world is a perception of one's own. One makes their own real world.
My reality today is that I'm a person living with AIDS. I'm not dying, and until my last breath, I will be a person living with AIDS.
So you guys got to know this had an impact on people.
Kudos to you, because I don't know what I know more as I've gotten older about what it's like to be gay. Back then, it was a hot potato. And, back then. But you stuck with it, and it has helped. You've been able to bring all of our stories out there. You've had transgender people on your show. You've had PEDRO on your show. You've had a lot of different people. MTV did an incredible job casting these people.
So you have a boyfriend back home? Actually, I have a girlfriend back home. Really?
The show changed the course of the way we communicate and talk and think about these issues.
Ever since I was a little kid, I knew that I identified more as female than as male.
Well, to me, you're 100% female.
That's how I see me too.
You're 100% 100. female. And you got, what did you say? You got the receipts to prove it.
And it really shifted as season would come back and they'd introduce more of us and a different person's story. It helped so many people, so many people.